Hey, welcome back to the Garden Rebel channel. It's been a rough week. And on this channel, what I try to prove to you is a few things. One, gardening's not that hard. Two, be a rebel. Go against what everybody else is doing today. Do it the way it was done years ago. It worked then, it'll work now. Three, it doesn't cost a fortune. You don't have to do all the fancy raised beds, bring in this nutrient, bring in that kind of dirt. Simple process. It's you, some ground, and some seeds. And these behind me are two basic gardens with not a lot of variety, but it is a garden to get you started, and it is a garden that anybody can enjoy throughout the year. Now, with me, I grow plants and vegetables that are cost effective for me. Onions I can get relatively cheaply. Greens such as lettuce, leaf lettuce, things of that nature, cheap. I can just go to the farmer's market right down the road here in town and get it from people I know and how they grow their things, and I can buy it really cheaper than what I could put in the ground for. So I look at gardening as a way to save money throughout the summertime on what we enjoy. We enjoy tomatoes, cucumbers, squash, zucchini, watermelons, cantaloupes, green beans, okra, and some potatoes. Now the potatoes aren't really cost effective. I just like being able to go out and dig some small potatoes that are really hard for me to find in stores and use them in some of the dishes that we cook at the house. This video today is going to be describing what we do with plants after they've been damaged due to severe weather. Yesterday we had some very severe weather roll in, and it was not a pleasant sight. There was tornado warnings issued, heavy winds, heavy rains, and some of our garden got affected by this. So today's topic is going to be, how can I fix my tomato plants after they've been, abused by the weather? It's a simple fix. Anybody can do it, and I'm fixing to show you in a couple easy steps how to remedy that situation. So bear with us a second, don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back over at the garden spot. Now, as you can tell, during severe weather, this plant got blowed over. Now, it was at the size to where we should have had it stabilized, but it had been raining for several days, and I did not want to come down here and walk around the plants and get the ground around them compacted to where water wouldn't soak in during the dry season. So, what we're going to do today is I've got a small piece of little bamboo cane that grows around here, and I just go grab some of them every year and let it dry out. I'm going to pick my plant up. I'm going to place the little section of cane right in there. I'm going to take a small piece of yarn and I'm going to secure it to that plant and that piece of cane pole. I'm not going to tie it tight. I'm going to leave about 1/8 of an inch between the plant and that string. I'll show you in a second. You want it to be able to move like this. We'll take another piece of string. I'm going to bring this up right here. Now, the reason I'm actually doing this is because of two things. I want my plant to be straight so I can bring my tomato stakes or cage in here once it established its growing pattern again. The other reason why is I do not want this vine growing towards those tomatoes. I want to be able to get in here with a garden tiller throughout the year to try to keep some of the weeds down. And it makes it easier for me to come in here and pick tomatoes. So we've got it secured in two spots, midsection and top. What I'll do is I will place a tomato stake or you can use a cage, or you could bring your trellis system in right now. And I'm going to place it right next to the stick that we've got them secured to. Now here in a couple days, this plant will grow up to about the top of this right here. I'll then come in with some more string, tie it to the stake, and remove the bottom pieces of thread and the bamboo section, cane pole section, whatever you're going to call it. The reason I do this, and I know people's going to ask me, why didn't you just tie it up to begin with? Well, there's two reasons for that, for me. One is, I want to firm it up in a small section. Secondly, I want it to grow the way I dictate it. Now, if I come in here and I have to tie it loose to the main support, and another bad storm system moves through here, it's going to have a weak spot. This way, I can control a smaller area for a smaller limited amount of time, and once it reaches past this, I can secure it again, and I won't have any problem with it. So what you're going to do is just steady it up for a couple days. It's kind of like a tomato crutch. Now, behind us, we have got plants that need some work to the trellis that we've got. Now, these were up yesterday, but the wind came through, and the downforce of the wind has pushed the tomatoes down. And as you can see, we've got tomatoes coming out pretty much everywhere. So the first thing I want to do is take my twine, tie it around just a section on the trellis. I'm going to bring this limb up, and I'm going to go around, and I'm going to tie it to another section of the trellis a few inches away. And we're going to get this joker going straight back up that trellis. And the same goes with this guy right there. Goes for this tomato right here. We've actually woven him through the trellis at the bottom. He's come out. He's matured enough. He's got plenty of blooms on him, showing some real good signs of growth. The stem is as big as round as my finger. So it's time to tie him up in case another case of strong wind comes through. I'm simply going to reach around, tie the string to one side of the trellis again, just make it a little knot, and we're simply going to pull this up. I'm going to feed the limbs that are sticking off of that stem right through here, through the trellis. That just adds you some more support. Pull them right on through, and then take this piece of yarn, twine, whatever you got. Don't pull it tight, just give it a secure loop, like a, just like a seat belt. There you go. That's as far as it can go, but it's got plenty of movement. So when the wind starts blowing, this tomato will be able to go any way it wants without breaking over. And more weeds. Alright, so for our trellis, I can't complain too much. We're doing pretty good on the trellis. We've got some tomatoes that could be tied up. And as you can tell, I came through here earlier today and wove a bunch of them up through there. And right here, let's get you situated, and I'll show you exactly how I've done that. Hang on a minute while I adjust my tripod for you. The tomato plants are looking really good on this section right here. Alright, let's get you set up right there. You can see the tomato plant I'm talking about on the other side of the fence. That's him right there. Okay. Now this is just an old piece of what we call pig fencing, hog wire, pasture wire, and it's a really cheap brand. You can pick this stuff up. It's not a heavy gauge, so it sells relatively cheap. You can pick it up for probably $100 for a roll, and this is like the trellises, the cattle panels. It'll last you forever. So what you want to do is reach your hand through. I'm going to pull the limbs in first. Now I'm simply going to work the plant through there. Pull this limb through, and we're done. And then as it grows on up, we'll run it right back through the wires until it comes up to this side right here, the top, and then we can run it however which way we want to right here. But it's a simple process. The thing I like about this is when you're using a trellis system, I don't know if you can see that one. Let's get you right here. I don't have to walk all the way across there to reach something. I can simply pull it through if I wanted to. Stick it through there. Let it grow. I can pull anything through here without damaging the plant, and we're good. So the better bushes are looking great. We gotta get over here though and weed this joker out this weekend, because as you can see, the grass, due to the weather and the rain, is just really taking hold around the tomato plants. And that's another reason why I like the trellis system, is I can reach under here and pull out everything and lay it right out in my road. Simple. I can get a hoe under here. I can pretty much get anything, any garden hand tool out here and work around these tomatoes without fear of damaging them, because I have plenty of room. I've got a foot right there to reach under here and get what I need to get out, or add what I want to add. I can add fertilizer, I can add compost, I can add chicken litter, I can add a weed barrier if I want. Whatever I need to do later on in the season, I can add it. Now we've got some squash on the plant, and here in a couple of days that squash will be ready to pull. I don't let it get too big. I just don't like it when it gets a larger size. The zucchini plants are booming, and here in a couple of days we will have some zucchini to pick, because this stuff grows really rapid. Okra's coming up really well, so we'll get down here this weekend and thin that out, and hopefully Rocky and Bullwinkle will leave the corn alone. But before we go, I want to show you something. Now those are some pretty heads of cabbage. I'm here to tell you, even though it's in my garden, they're pretty good size. I'm looking forward to these guys reaching maturity. I think that they're going to get a few more pounds to them. They're not as big as I hoped. We do have an issue with some of them. Those were the ones that were given to us, so I can't really complain about that. And another good thing about the trellis is this. You see the little tomato plant right there? Watch this. Pull this right through here. Alright, he's done for another week. I'll come back over here another week and run him through there. The same goes with this guy right here. Skinny mini. Take him, run him right through there. He is secure. There is no easier way to do that than a trellis like that right there. Alright. We've tied our tomatoes up. They'll make a recovery. They weren't damaged that bad. But I just like starting out on a smaller scale. You can go with whatever you intend on using. A cage, a wire cage can be slipped over them right now, and it wouldn't hurt them a bit. I just rather have that area to be able to walk through without hanging up on something. And I just don't want to use a big pole right now or a big stake to tie up such a small plant with. To me, I'll wait till it establishes itself a little bit better. Anything could happen at this time because they're relatively young plants. Those that we just fixed are the brandywines that were given to us by a friend at work, and they're doing better, but they got put out late, and it may be a later crop than the rest of them, and they're a little bit behind, but we haven't added anything to them, so we can't complain. We have nothing in them. What makes my channel different than the other channels? Well, I'm blunt. I don't believe in, dancing around the truth. I don't believe in going with these Google gardeners, as I call them. I grow a garden that's beneficial to me. And I'm not going to come out here with some hype. I'm not all organic. I do use store-bought fertilizer. I just find that it's more cost-effective for my needs. I do not use a lot of it. And I try to limit it to as small amount as possible from year to year. Because people would be surprised. A lot of subdivisions that you're living in, a lot of developments, a lot of land that you bought at one time was farmland. And people made a living growing crops on that land. And many, many years ago, they did not have the access to some of the things that we now have. Fertilizer being one of them. They organically fertilized. They didn't have pesticides. They didn't have herbicides. They went out and pulled weeds and dug up roots and done what they could. They didn't have something they could spray in an application and it kill a certain species of grass or vegetation. Now, with that being said, there's always one topic I try to touch on in all my videos, and it's usually a pet peeve of mine, and this is another one. I had a guy that I work with, and Lord bless his heart, I think the world of him, but he has got this image of the world through advertisement. And what I mean by advertisement is he watches some of my videos, and he'll probably watch this one. He'll see me tomorrow. Hey man, what are you doing that for? Well, the thing about this is there's so much hype right now in gardening. It makes people think you've got to be some kind of professor to grow a tomato plant. Trust me, you don't. I am not by no means any smarter than anybody on this planet. But this guy swears up and down by every product they come up with year to year. Me and him had this discussion today, and I hope that you don't get offended by it when I describe it to you, because this is totally just my opinion. And it was concerning blood meal and other additives that people buy now to enrich their soil. He believes that blood meal is an organic compound. Technically, yes. The blood meal you're buying today packaged from a store, no, it's not organic. And if you want to, real quick, Google blood meal, and I'm sure you're going to read something to the effect of it is a compound made by animal byproducts. And my pet peeve on this is they will not let livestock feed producers, which the companies that make animal feed, put that in feed that is going to an organic farm. You can plant it and still keeping, or you can use it during planting and keep an organic tag, but you can't feed it to livestock and sell it as organic meat. So that's double standards to me. You can't have one and not have the other one. And that was his argument. Well, it's byproducts of animals. Yes, it's byproduct of animals. That's animals from commercial farms. Feather meal, you know, who in the heck raises that many chickens to produce that many feathers to be compounded into that many bags organically? It's impossible. Those feathers have to come from commercial farms. There's no other way to do it. The same with the beef byproducts or the pig byproducts or chicken byproducts that go into your blood meal that's labeled organic. Those byproducts are coming more than likely from a commercial farm. So every organic person out there, I don't care who you are getting products that have originated on commercial farms, whether it be livestock farms, chicken farms, anything of that nature. There is a use for every animal that is produced on those farms. Now, here's my question. If a vegan uses blood meal, are they still a vegetarian or a vegan when they eat that plant that has soaked up that base chemical that they added to that whole that had animal byproducts in it? Bone meal, feather meal, blood meal, byproducts of animals. Me, I go to the hardware store or to my local feed store, I buy my seeds, I buy a 40-pound bag of fertilizer, and I'm done with it. I have no guilty conscience about using it because, like I said before, I'm not organic. And if you're using these products, in my opinion, how can you say you're organic when the byproducts are coming from results of commercial farming? But that's just my pet peeve. That's, my discussion, and I'm not calling anybody out. I'm not saying this, my way's better than your way, by no means. It's just something that I've wondered about, and I'm voicing my opinion. And like I said before, I voice my opinions. And I call black black and red red and white white. That's just the way I am. I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing. But anyway, I'm Gardener Reb, and I am out of here for today. And I just want to say thank you to the subscribers that we've picked up. I really enjoy the feedback and I enjoy the comments, and it gives me a lot of ideas for future projects in the garden. So with that being said, please subscribe, hit like, leave us a comment, join the group, and we'll welcome you with open arms and the discussions that follow that. So for the Gardener Rebel, I'm out of here, and I really hope to see you next time back at the Garden Spot. Y'all have a great week and have a great holiday weekend. Until next time, thanks for watching.